Shalom, Most High Christ blessed. I'm Officer Jabali, and we are TTIC. I'm going to read a disclaimer. TTIC, also known as the Truth in Christ, is a Bible-based organization. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We teach the Bible as it is written. We are not a hate group, nor do we teach violence. We do not condone any acts of hate or violence against any race, ethnicity, gender, and religious groups. We firmly believe in abiding by the laws of the city and state. If you witness any member of TTIC committing a crime, please contact us and the proper authorities.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless. I'm Brother Mark of TTIC, which stands for the Truth in Christ, just in case you didn't know. Today's class is called Black on Black Crime. Today's Sabbath class is called Black on Black Crime. How y'all brothers and sisters doing out there today? Y'all, I hope y'all doing good. I hope the Lord's blessing you. How y'all sisters doing in here? All praise the Most High. Y'all look happy. I always smile. All praise the Most High. All right, so what we're going to do today, guys, we're going to start off with 1 John chapter 4. We're going to start off with Officer verse 16, please.
First John 4 in verse 16.
Come on.
And we have known and believed the love that God hath to us. God is love. And he that dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in him.
So it says we have known and believed the love that God hath to us. God is love. Give me 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. Let's see what that love is talking about. Read what you got.
1 John 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So that's the love. When it says God is love, God is the commandments. Okay? God is the commandments. Everybody understand that? All right, so when it says God is love, it's saying God is the law. Read verse 17.
1 John 4 and verse 17. Herein is our love made perfect.
Herein is our love made perfect. Come on.
That we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
Stop. Therein is herein is our love made perfect. The commandments that God gave us is going to be made perfect by us being tried in this what? Truth. That's why we come around, brothers and sisters. That's why you cannot be an individual like. Because you got to go through certain trials. Because God wants to, like, I'm going to use it a lamest term. God want to make sure you go play fair with your brothers and sisters. If you're not around nobody to see if you're going to play fair, how you know if you're going to be able to make it to the kingdom? Read. Go ahead.
Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world.
See, as he is, so are we in this world. So if God is the law, so must we be the law in this what? World. Read. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Give me that grace in this present time. Listen, Titus 2. And start 11 for me. Because it says, so is he that is, where was I? Oh, because as he is, so are we in this world. Watch this, Titus 2 and 11.
Titus 2 in verse 11.
Read.
For the grace of God that bringeth salvation have appeared to all men. Teaching us that denying ungodliness.
Teaching us to undeny sin.
And worldly lust.
We
should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
So now read the bottom, read 17 again. Just read the whole thing, 17.
1 John 4 verse 17.
Read.
Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
That we may have boldness, meaning when the missiles coming, we're not worried about getting burnt over to other people. We worried about getting what? Saved. We're not worried about getting burned up. We're worried about getting saved. Watch this.
Because as he is, so are we in this world.
So because as he is the laws, so are we doing the laws in this world at this time. Read verse 18. I'm sorry. What was it, 17? Give me 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 16. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 16. Let's break it down a little bit more.
1 Peter 2 and verse 16. As free, and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness.
Read it one more time.
As free, and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness.
See that liberty is talking about you free. You free from the world. You free from sin. That's what it's talking about. Y'all understand that? Watch it. Using your liberty. Liberty is freedom. Watch this. Come on.
For a cloak of maliciousness.
So it can be a cloak for you to hate other brothers and sisters. Come on.
But as the servant of God.
But as a servant of God. Read.
Honor all men. Love the brotherhood.
We love the what?
Brotherhood.
Read.
Fear God.
What did it say?
Fear God.
Do his laws.
Honor the king.
Honor Christ. Come on. Read.
Servants. Be subject to your masters with all fear.
Read it again.
Servants. Be subject to your masters with all fear.
You notice he says servants. Who's the servants? We are the servants. Give me that, officer, in Isaiah. Hold on real quick, because we got to do this thing precept upon precept. Isaiah, what's that, 48 and 1? 44, 41 and 8.
You want 48 and 1?
No, 41.
You want 44 and 1 is Jacob, my servant.
Yep, I got you. Let me get her real quick. Yeah, 41 and 8.
41 and 1.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Isaiah 41 and verse 8.
Read.
But thou Israel.
But see, he said, but thou Israel.
Art my servant.
See, we are God's servant, the Israelites. Thou Israel art my servants.
Jacob, whom I have chosen. The seed of Abraham, my friend.
You see that? So the Israelites are God's servants. So let's go back and read that again in 1 Peter 2.
1 Peter 2.
No, where was we at? I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 Peter 2. You're right. Come on. 18.
1 Peter 2 and verse 18. Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear.
So Israel, be subject to your teachers. That's what the masters go into. Teachers. Be subject to your teachers with all fear. Read.
Not only to the good and gentle.
Not only to the brothers and sisters who's listening.
But also to the forward.
The ones who is being harsh. The ones acting cocky. The proud. Watch this. Read.
For this is thankworthy. If a man for conscience toward God endure grief.
Hold on. Where we at? Yo, keep on going. Yep.
Suffering wrongfully.
It's doing what?
Suffering wrongfully.
Read 19 again, because I interrupted you, officer. Read them again. I'm sorry.
1 Peter 2 and verse 19. For this is thankworthy.
This is thankworthy.
If a man for conscience toward God endure grief.
If you endure grief. Y'all sisters see that? If you endure grief. Bad things. Watch this.
Suffering wrongfully.
It's suffering what?
Wrongfully.
Because a lot of us is going to suffer wrongfully, guys. You're going to suffer for stuff you didn't even do. You understand? We're going to suffer wrongfully. Watch this. Come on.
For what glory is it if, when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently?
Mm-hmm. No. So you see that? What glory is it when you be buffeted? When you beat up for your faults? Meaning the things that you did not do and you get beat up for them. He said, take it what? Take it patiently. Come on.
But if, when you do well,
and
suffer for it,
read,
you take it patiently. This is acceptable with God.
You see that, guys? So when you do something wrong, when you ain't did nothing wrong, and you get beat up for it, and you suffer by other people because you wear your dresses, Because you wear your fringes. Because it's men, you wearing your beard. Because you won't chase women at the club. You're not going to the club to make your women hoes. When we suffer for those things, God says, take it what? Cheerfully. Read.
Verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
Watch this.
Who did no sin.
So just because you suffering for sin, for suffering for things, you should do no what? Sin. Come on.
Neither was gall found in his mouth.
Neither was a deceit found in his mouth, guys. So he wasn't running around tricking brothers and sisters. Everybody understand that? All right. So now let's go back to 1 John chapter 4 and 17 one more time.
1 John 4 verse 17. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Because as he is, so are we in this world.
So are we in this world. Now give me Proverbs chapter 24, 21 through 22. 21, 22, yes sir.
Proverbs 21 and verse 22. A wise man scaleth the city of the mighty, and casteth down the strength of the confidence thereof. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles.
Read it again.
Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles.
So you see that right there. If you keep your mouth and your tongue, you keep it your soul for trouble. You know, sometimes like when you say something to somebody, do it always got to be a reaction after somebody say something to you? It don't have to be a reaction all the time. Sometimes, you know, you just got to be humble about the situation. Sometimes you got to just let it go over, man. Because if you add fuel to that fire, what happens? What happens when you add fuel to the fire? It explodes. It gets higher, right? So do the argument between people. Read it again one more time, Austin.
Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. Proud and haughty, scorner is his name.
Proud and haughty and scorner is his name. Come on.
Who dealeth in proud wrath. That was 24.
Okay, so that's all I wanted was what? 21, 22. Okay, so it says, my son, fear thou. Now read 21 and 22, officer. Read that again. Proverbs 24, 21, 22. Because I got a point to bring out. 24. I thought you was, my bad, man. I thought you was on 24. Yeah, 24, 21, 22. My bad.
Okay, Proverbs 24, verse 21. I've been hearing wrong. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king.
Fear the Lord and the king.
And meddle not with them that are given to change.
You see that? The Bible says don't meddle with a brother and sister that is given unto change. What it means, don't meddle with them that is given unto change. Read, watch this, 22.
For their calamity shall rise suddenly.
Stop. Now y'all notice why he says, now read 21 one more time, officers. Now, listen to what it's saying real clear, guys. Read it again.
Verse 21. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change.
Don't meddle with brothers and sisters that is given it to change, meaning they not doing God's what no more. Laws, the middle one, the middle one, in the front. Don't give it. There you go, the middle one. There you go. All right, don't meddle with them that is given into change. Come on.
For their calamity shall rise suddenly.
Because God got a problem with them. And when their trouble comes to them, all of a sudden, read.
And who knoweth the ruin of them both?
And who knoweth the ruin of them both? So let me ask y'all a question. If you're around somebody who's given unto change, and God decides to make a torque bus hit them, if you in the car with them, what happens? You die too. See what I mean? Don't do that, guys. And you see somebody starting to trip and they falling out this truth. If they completely out, they stop congregating. Why keep yourself meddling with them? You cannot help them. They already made a what? Decision. Everybody understand that? Watch this. Give me John 15, verse 17, 18. Black on black crime. This is what we're going through today. Watch this. Don't meddle with them that is given into change, because they're going to turn around and do something to you. Watch this. Read.
John 15 and verse 17. These things I command you, that ye love one another.
That we what?
Love one another.
So Christ has given us a commandment that we love one another. Why?
If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
You know, I've been putting the scripture like in our last 3 classes. And the reason why is because, read it one more time, that part.
If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
Because y'all don't really understand that if Christ got hated, what's gonna happen to y'all? You're gonna get hated too. Y'all might, if you can't stand up for that right there, I'm sorry. People's gonna hate you guys because you're doing the right thing. You remember the little terms when you was in school? Goody two shoe, teacher's pet. All those little terms was because the bad person could not do what you was doing. They have no discipline of controlling themselves during class. What else did I want? Did you read verse 8? Yeah, that was it right there. What? Give me 2 Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 14 and 15. Watch this. Some more to go with it. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 14 and 15.
1 Thessalonians 2 and verse 14. For ye, brethren, become followers of the churches of God.
To become followers of the churches of God. What was the churches of God teaching? The laws. Become followers of the churches of God. Watch this.
Which in Judea are in Christ Jesus.
Which in Judea is in the laws of God. Because you got to remember, Christ is the word, which is in the laws of God. Read.
For ye also have suffered like things of your own countrymen.
Read.
Even as they have of the Jews.
Come on.
Who both killed the Lord Jesus.
Hold on. So the Jews, they killed Christ. They set Christ up to be what? Killed. Read.
And their own prophets.
They set the prophets up to be killed as well. Read.
And have persecuted us.
Come on.
And they please not God.
They please not God, meaning they don't do his laws.
And are contrary to all men.
They are contrary to all the men that is doing God's laws. They opposite of them. So y'all got to remember this thing right here. From there, go back to 1 John chapter 4 verse 18.
1 John 4 verse 18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear.
Now, we just read what love was, right? The love is keeping the commandments of God, right? Read it one more time. Just that first part and stop on me.
Verse 18. There is no fear in love.
So, which one of y'all got to examine yourselves and say, what are you scared of in this truth? What's your most fear? Is your fear is how people are going to accept you? How your mother is going to feel? How your brother's going to feel? How your best friend going to feel? Let me tell y'all something. If you got best friends that's doing God's laws and your friend refused to hear you, they was never your best friend. They know that you ain't going to never bring nothing to them bad. But I'm going to use it on the girls. When they go out, they go to the little club, and she go home with another dude. What the girl say? Girl, don't go home with him. You don't know what's going to happen, right? She call herself looking out. You okay? Okay. They call herself looking out for the girl, right? Mm-hmm. But what happens is, now what happens when you tell your friend, you tell her, don't go home with another girl, right? I mean, don't go home with a man, right? By yourself, right? But when you tell her, girl, we got to put our dresses on for God. She said, girl, what you talking about? But she just went home with another man last week. Read it again. Read it again. Watch this.
There is no fear in love.
So there's no fear in love. So if your friends, your brothers, your sisters, anybody around you that don't want to do God's laws, if it's your fear that you're going to lose them, you're not in the truth. Watch what the next part say. Watch this. There is no fear in love. Watch this.
But perfect love casteth out fear.
You see, because if you're doing the laws to the fullest, you ain't worried about who you going to lose. You ain't worried about who you gonna lose. Because God says he's gonna give you brothers and sisters. You're not gonna worry about who you lose. Watch this, come on.
Because fear hath torment.
Fear has torment. Watch this.
He that feareth is not made perfect
He
in love.
that fear is not made perfect in God's laws. You fear losing your little friend, your little clubbing buddy, your little dope fiend buddy, your little hopscotch buddy, your little Daisy Duke wearing buddies. You fear them people. You fear losing those women. You brothers fear you fear losing the dope man because he had money. He'll let you buy money whenever you need it. When you fear these people, you are not in the truth. That's what. Read it again, just to make sure it says it.
There is no fear in love. But perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love.
He is not made perfect in love. Read. Come on, officer.
Verse 19.
Verse, what was it, 18? Yeah, verse 19.
Verse 19. We love him because he first loved us.
And we love him because he first loved us. So now watch this. Okay, I already went through that. Come on. Read it again.
Verse 19. We love him because he first loved us.
And we love him. We follow his commandments because he first loved us, gave us his commandments. Watch this.
If a man say, I love God,
And if you say you love God,
and hateth his brother,
what that means, guys? If you say you love God, you say you love God, right? But you hate your brother. He think he's all that. Every week this dude got a new pair of shoes. Look at him and his wife. I can't stand him. Damn, girl, when you gonna get some new hair? I'm using these examples, real talk. Real talk. This is what we need to hear. Because we don't be thinking we hate no people. We don't think we hate people. We be hating no people. Black folks is the biggest judges in the world. They the first one says, judge not ought to be judged. You ignorant. Every time somebody walk around you, they ain't got a haircut. Girl, look at his hair. You need to get that cut, girl. You need to go barber shop. You come with some shoes on. You been out cutting grass all day. You got some bummy shit. Girl, look at his shoes. Girl, he's broke. I don't want nothing to do with him. You been cut. I'm giving y'all examples. Because a woman don't wear pricey clothes. Girl, she got her stuff from Walmart. Judge it. Not judge it. Our people judge all day long, though. You know what's funny? In this truth, we gotta wear 100% fabrics. Thank you, officer. We gotta wear 100% fabrics, right? Guess what is 100%? Not true religion. Not none of them $300 jeans. Not none of them $500 jeans. Wranglers is 100%. You will see the Israelites in the Wranglers, and we richer than every last one of you. And real talk, the men of this world, meaning the white men of this world with the money, he wear Wranglers right along with us. That's crazy. Our people always judging people, but they say they don't want to be judged, guys. Black on black crimes. You know how bad that is when you get judged by people and you feel all depressed and you just don't even want to talk to nobody. You know, our people make you feel bad, man. Black folks will make you feel like, damn. That's a crime. That's a black on black crime right there. Read that again, officer, for me.
John 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he have not seen?
Now, y'all notice, now, if you still hanging around with worldly people and you gave them God's laws, and they say, nah, I don't want these. I don't want these, but you still hanging around them, let me just give you a scripture real quick. Let me share something with you. Give me Amos. You know what I want? 3, please. Amos 3. Watch it. See, a lot of our brothers use these scriptures for cuts, but you got to use it to open up the psychological, the way a person really act in your life. Watch this. Watch what I'm saying. Watch this. Read what you got. Your Amos 3 and 3.
Amos 3 and verse 3.
Watch this. Let's see what our people's mindset is. Watch this.
Can two walk together except they be agreed?
So how the hell are you hanging with somebody that you gave the laws to and they don't want to do them, but you supposed to be a law keeper? Read it again.
Can two walk together except they be agreed?
That means you just like that person. You just had it. You just like that person. Ain't no way you can walk with somebody who's not a law keeper and you a law keeper. Give me that what we went over earlier, 2 Corinthians 6 also. Give me that 2 Corinthians 6 and start with verse 15. Watch this. Soldier Herman brought this out earlier when we was going through it. Watch this.
2 Corinthians 6 and verse 15.
Read.
And what concord hath Christ with Belial?
So how is Christ gonna hang around with the devil? That's what they're saying. Can't you see Christ right now? Him and the devil taking pictures together. They on one knee talking. That would be ignorant, man. Read it again, officer.
And what concord hath Christ with Belial?
Read.
Or what part have he that believeth with an infidel?
What an infidel is somebody who don't believe. What part do a believer have with somebody that don't believe? Read.
And what agreement have the temple of God with idols?
What agreement have the temple of God with idols? Read.
For ye are the temple of the living God. As God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them.
Read.
And I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Watch this.
Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate.
You see what God says? He says, come from among those devils, and be ye separate. How many times y'all heard these scriptures? How many times have you applied them? See, that's the problem. We don't apply scriptures, brothers and sisters. We don't apply. We hear, but we will not apply. Hold that right there, officer, real quick. Hold that. Shalom. Hold that real quick. I'll be right back. Stay right there. Real quick for me, please. Herman can take over after this. Soldier Herman can take over after this. After I get through with this point. Where is it at? Give me 1 second. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking for something. Let's go back. Read that one more time, officer. Read that one more time. Dang, I can't find it,
2
man.
Corinthians 6.
Yep.
2 Corinthians 6 and verse 16. In what agreement have the temple of God with idols?
Mm-hmm.
For ye are the temple of the living God.
You the temple of the living God. Read.
As God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
So we supposed to basically, guys, apply what we heard. Everybody understand that? We supposed to apply what we heard. Where was we at before that, officer?
Yeah, Amos.
No, Amos. Go back to
John.
1 John. That's what I want. Go back to 1 John, and we was at verse. Soldier Harvey, you ready? Give me 1 John chapter 4, and we was at verse 21.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 4 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
Read it again.
And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God loveth his brother also.
Y'all understand that when you love God, you can't have black on black crime. Because if you love God, you love your brother also. You're not going to rob your brother. You're not going to sleep with your brother's wife. You're not going to steal from your brother. You're not going to do none of those things. Same thing as sisterly love, sister love. Same thing. You don't do them. You don't do those things when you say you love what? God. Or you're a liar. It's plain and simple. Give me, soldier, give me John chapter 13, verse 33. Excuse me.
This is the book of John, chapter 13 and verse 33. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you.
Hold on real quick. Let me get there. Read it one more time. 33.
The book of John, chapter 13 and verse 33.
Read.
Little children.
Little children.
Oh, and yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall ask me, and as I said unto the Jews.
No, you shall seek me.
Ye shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews,
Read.
whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you,
Read.
a new commandment I give unto you.
Hold on. What he says to them?
A new commandment I give unto you,
Read.
that ye love one another.
That you what?
Love one another,
Read.
as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
So Christ said, a new commandment that I gave you. Why did Christ have to give a new commandment, brothers and sisters? Why did he have to give the new commandment? It's been the same commandment since the what? The beginning. Give me 2 John 6. Let's see this. Let's see. Am I just making this up? This been the commandment since the beginning of time. Read what you got.
The book of 2 John, chapter verse 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that, as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it.
So this commandment, man, it's commandment since the beginning. That we should love one another, right? So go back to John 13:34.
The book of John, chapter 13, and verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another,
That you love one another.
as I have loved you.
Go ahead.
That ye also love one another.
That you also. Why do we gotta give that commandment again?
They wouldn't keep it from the start.
They was not keeping. All praise the soldier. They was not keeping it from the start. Our brothers and sisters don't understand this. Y'all don't know how to love each other. Only thing you know how to love is the people that is within your little square. Your perimeter is all you know who to love. We supposed to love all Israel that is keeping God's laws. Not the brothers and sisters just right here before you. Not just the way you see. You're supposed to love the ones who's keeping the laws. Am I talking about sinners or am I talking about the ones keeping the laws? Keeping the laws. You supposed to love. When brothers and sisters, you go out of town and you see brothers and sisters keeping the law. You supposed to shalom those brothers and sisters, man. Shalom, Most High Christ bless brothers and sisters. How you doing? Why do Israel find it so hard to love each other? Even the brothers who woke, they making it about colors. They making it about teachers. They making it about old stuff when we first was woke up. They ain't let this world go. All that is Esau. All that is the hatred of your brother. So Christ said, I'm giving you a new commandment. When Christ walked the earth, did not the scribes and Pharisees hate him? Did they hate him?
Yes.
They hated him. Why? Because he was teaching the law. Teaching the law. All right, from there, give me 1 John chapter 2 and verse 7 and 8, please.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 7. Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye have had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true.
Whoa. I can't let that go. Read it one more time. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. I want y'all to hear this. This is the new commandment that he commanded him. Watch this. Read it again.
Again. This is
verse 7.
Verse 7.
Yes, sir.
Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment.
But an old commandment.
Which ye had from the beginning.
Which ye had from the beginning. We read it. Come on.
The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning.
Stop. What is the word?
Christ.
Yep. What's the word? No. The law. So he said the word, the law, since the beginning. Everybody got that? Watch this. Read. There you go.
Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past, and the true light now shineth.
He said, read it again. And again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past. What's the darkness? Sin. And the light, and the true light now shining. What's the true light?
The law.
Okay, I'll praise it. So y'all see that thing. This is what Christ gave us. Robert, give me. So now, let me ask you a question. Why did Christ say these things? Why was that said? Why did he have them to write that right there? Why he said, I ain't give you no thing, these commandments, the new commandment that we love one another. It's been a commandment since the beginning. Let's examine it real quick. Give me Genesis chapter 29, verse 13. Let's examine it a little bit. Thank you, officer, for sharing. We appreciate you, brother. It's always nice to share.
The book of Genesis, chapter 29 and verse 13.
Read.
And it came to pass, when Laban had heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house.
So Laban is Rachel's brother. And Jacob was his nephew. And so he brought him to his house, and he did what? Read it again, soldier.
And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob's sister, of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to the house. And he told Laban all these things.
So now we understand what the story is about. The story is about Jacob and his uncle Laban. Okay? Now, let's go set it up. Give me verse 30.
Verse 30.
30. I'm sorry, chapter 30. And I want to start with 26, soldier.
The book of Genesis, chapter 30 and verse 26.
Watch this.
Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go.
Because y'all read the story of Jacob. What happened is he wanted to marry one wife, right? He wanted to marry Rachel. Not Leah. He wanted to marry what's the other? Rachel. He wanted to marry Rachel, but the Laban tricked him. And listen up to the story. Laban tricked him, so he had to marry Leah. And we're going to show you this in these scriptures right here. This is black on black crime. Your own uncle will beat you if you ain't ready for it. Read, watch this.
For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, thou knowest how I served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and is now increased unto a multitude.
Because he was right there working on his farm, basically, right? And he built up his animals. You know, he just told you the poor wasn't nothing. When I came, you had very little. Now you have a multitude of animals, right? Now watch this, read.
And the Lord hath blessed me since my coming. And now when shall I provide for my own house also? And he said, what shall I give thee?
Now, you notice he said, now that I provide for my own house also. He didn't want to live off his father-in-law and just sit up there and live off him. He wanted to take his wives, which at that time, which what happened, he wanted to take his wives and he wanted to provide for them his what? Himself. He's not no bum brother. He's like, hey, I'll take my family and I'll go provide for me and mine. Read, watch this.
And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle from among the sheep, and spotted and speckled among the goats. And of such shall be my hire.
And he said, of such shall be my hire. So he's letting you know all the speckled and all the spotted he was going to keep, right? Now watch this, come on. It's going to get a little good.
So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me.
Come on. So he's letting you know that if I take those, they stolen, because I got to give those to you. That's what he was saying. Watch this.
And Laban said, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed the day that he goats.
He read it again.
And he removed that day the he goats that were ring straight and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them to the hands of his son.
Read.
And he set 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock.
Read.
And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of hazel and of chestnut tree, and piled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters of the watering troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink.
So Jacob, you see, he did this because my man was trying to beat him. So they watch this, keep reading, just keep reading, watch this.
And the flocks conceived before the rod, and brought forth cattle ring straight, speckled, and spotted.
So it was the ones that he was supposed to be collected. Is all they was producing. It's the ones that he was supposed to be collected. But watch this. Come on.
And Jacob did separate the lambs.
Separate the lambs.
And set the faces of the flocks toward the ring straight. And all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flock by themselves, and put them not into Laban's cattle.
He put them not unto Laban's cattle. So he did this thing. But jump over now. Where is it? Was it it? Because I thought I was going to make another point. Or did I forget? I forget. I must have stopped right there. I was supposed to add something to it, but I guess I stopped. But to get the moral of the story was the father-in-law already made him work 7 years for one wife. So he had to work another 7 years for the other wife, which he wanted at the beginning, which was Rachel. Right? You know, and then he didn't want Jacob to what? He didn't want to leave because he got rich off what? Off Jacob's labor. So that's in itself, he dealt deceitfully with his own brother, his own sister's what? Son. Wow. Black on black crimes. Hey, let's go to Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. I'm on 11 through 15. Exodus 2, 11 through 15. Watch it.
The book of Exodus, chapter 2, and verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian, spied a Hebrew, one of his brethren.
So now, let me show y'all something. This is real. He went out and he seen an Egyptian, which he was betraying right then at that time. He was in second command. So he seen an Egyptian hitting his people. And watch what he does. He took a certain feeling to that thing. Watch what he says.
And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw
you know the brothers look. You know when you agree to do something right, you go like this. That's how he did. He looked both ways, and when he went read.
He looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian.
So he killed them. Read.
And hid him in the sand.
And he hid him in the sand. Watch this.
And when he went out the second day.
Watch the black on black crime here, y'all.
Behold.
This is black on black crime right here at its best. Read. He went out the next day. Watch this.
Behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together.
So they was arguing. Come on.
And he said to him that did the wrong.
Read. Where they was fighting. Come on.
Wherefore spiteth thou thy fellow?
Why you hit your brother? Read.
And he said, Who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me, and as thou killest the Egyptians?
Read.
And Moses feared and said, Surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing.
Hold on. How did Pharaoh heard it? How did Pharaoh hear this thing? Huh? No.
No, the brothers wouldn't told him.
He went to told on Moses. Because Moses was correcting him from fighting his own people. Because Moses just killed an Egyptian for hitting an Israelite. But when Moses corrected the brothers and said, hey, bro, don't do that, bro. The brother said, you know what, I got something for you. He went and told on Moses. Read from Go ahead.
Verse 15 again. Now when Pharaoh heard this, he sought to slay Moses.
He what?
Sought to slay Moses.
Because you killed my people, so I'm going to kill you. Read.
But Moses...
Hold on, stop. Ooh, it's powerful. It's powerful. Stop right there. When Pharaoh heard it, he went to kill Moses. Where was the love at? I thought he was in second in command. The difference was he was an Israelite. And Pharaoh knew it. If it was an Egyptian, they killed an Egyptian, would he went out and did that? Would he try to kill him at that time? No, probably not. But by being Moses, which was a Hebrew, he said, I'm gonna kill this dude right away. I'm just giving you an example of you're trying to blend in with these other nations. When it comes down to you doing something to their people, like officers, say officers Edomite, and I'm a Israelite, right? I know, I'm sorry. And damn player, like you had to choose me. I was even. Let me see. George's a little lighter than you. No, I'm just nah. So officer says, hey, Mark, come over to my house. Cool. Me and officers cool. We go drink beer, we play golf together and everything, right? Right? Y'all see it? Okay. So we get out, his house. His brother's over there. His brother's all drunk and stuff. Yeah, man. Forget you. The N-word comes out. So I smacked him. Pow! What happens next? Do officer let me gang his Edomite brother, or do they gang me? I mean, do the officer let me hit his Edomite brother, or do they gang me? Which will happen?
You gonna get gang?
You damn right I'm get gang. I'm damn right I'm get gang. Alright, so I'm showing you right now I'm showing you that when you go against another nation, don't think that they got your back, man. Don't think that because I've seen plenty of times where brothers got into it with other nations, man, and they end up ganging that bro. Quick. I read it. Go ahead. Come on.
Now, did I finish that?
Yeah, keep it. Finish that 15 again.
Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses.
Come on.
But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well.
So I just wanted y'all to know is, even when you out here and you call yourself an Israelite, don't be naive on our people. Our people will still rat you out. They'll rat you out because you're not doing what they're doing. You remember the woman ran up on us also? Where was we at? We're all down at 4th Street Live. You remember we was down there passing out the flag? The woman ran up on, y'all can't be in here. This is a sis. This is private. I mean, this is public right here. This is public property. We can be anywhere in here we want to. That's why I called Soldier. I think I called you and talked to you. And Soldier didn't say y'all couldn't be in there because he's the security down there. Where he's over the things. He didn't say y'all couldn't be down here. I said the gas is pass out fast and leave. Because keep the commotion wet, damn. But the first thing that woman did, it came to him, what was she gonna do? She's gonna call the police. They heard causing the disturbance. Police come, all you see is us in boots. With our heads behind our back. We ain't did nothing. Passing out flyers. I'm telling you, man, black on black crime. All right, the next subject, let's go to the next thing right there is, give me Exodus 20, please. Read the 10 commandments all the way through from me, starting Exodus 31. I mean, it's 3. Exodus 20 and 3.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the father upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord will not hold him guiltless that take his name in vain.
Come on.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou do. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord God blessed the 7th day, and hallowed it.
Come on.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor.
Now, I want y'all to be honest with me before I continue in this class. How many of y'all remember the commandments straight up? Everybody? Okay. Yeah, yeah and nay.
Yes, sir.
You remember, okay? Sis. Okay, you didn't raise your hand. I didn't see you. Okay, what about you? Okay. Everybody remember? All right, everybody remember the commandments. Okay, all praises. The reason why I went over those commandments is I want y'all to show y'all something. When we dealing with our neighbors, for you not to have hate, you got to know these commandments right here. All right? Watch this. I'm going to read 17 one more time.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 17.
Read.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
What comes with coveting your neighbor's house? I'm going to show you some things that come with that. Let's go to number 7. 3, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Number 14. Come on.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 14. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
What that means right there? Thou shalt not commit adultery. Any of you men, answer. What it means? You can't answer something.
You know what I'm trying to figure out what you really
What do it mean? I just give me the definition, the understanding of what thou shalt not commit adultery means.
having sex while you married to another married person.
You should not, if you married, you shouldn't be having sex with another person, right? Okay, so with that being said, when it says thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, that commandment falls into that. So you breaking one, how many commandments? 1 and 2 commandments. All right. Let me give you another one that goes with it. Read number 3 for me, soldier.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
You notice that goes into that too? Because you put that woman before you put who?
For God.
See what I mean? You putting that lust before you put who? See what I mean? So it says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not nor his neighbor's, nor his manservant or his maidservant. So these things we are not supposed to be what? These things we're not supposed to be doing. So that covenant really covers a lot of the 10 what? Commandments. Because what can happen if say you coveted, say you coveted my household, right? What can happen? Give me a commandment. What's another commandment can happen during that covenant? Give me one that we just did tonight. Within Exodus.
Say it again now.
Give me, okay, don't, other than the other two we just went through, the other 3 we just went through, right? What's another one that can happen with covenant? What's another commandment that can be, what other commandment right here can happen with covenant?
Kill.
All praises. Thou shalt not kill. That can happen when you covenant a man's wife. Why? Give me that in Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 6 and start with Start with 26.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 26.
Start with 25.
Verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
Lust not after her beauty in the heart. So don't lust after a woman's beauty in the heart. Read.
Neither let her take Neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
You know, because women will look a man in the eye and they'll do that with their eyes. They'll do that little butterfly thing where their eyes is blinking, and they trying to take a man with their eyes. Y'all try to act like y'all don't know this thing. Read, watch this. Read.
For by means of a whorish woman.
Because hold on, what God say when a woman do that?
For by means of a whorish woman.
Come on.
A man is brought to a piece of bread.
A man is brought to a piece of bread. Come on.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
What?
The adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
Because you gotta realize this women out here that just want to see you fall out the truth. So say she got a strong husband, right? She gonna go out the weaker nigga. I can't get my husband. I get this dude. He'll fall to make him what? Fall out the what? It just said. Read it again. Watch what it says. Y'all ain't even picking this. Watch what it says.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 26.
Read.
For by means of a whorish woman.
By means of a whorish woman. Watch this.
A man is brought to a piece of bread.
Watch this.
And the adulteress.
And the what?
And the adulteress.
That woman
will hunt for the precious life.
She's hunting for men of God. She's hunting for them to get them out of the truth. Read.
Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned?
Can you put hot coals, burning hot coals in your chest, and your clothes catch not on fire? Your chest hurt and the clothes is going to be on fire. Read, watch this.
Can one go upon hot coals?
Can you walk on hot coals?
And his feet not be burned?
Yeah, of course not. If you go on some damn hot coals, your damn feet gonna hurt. You have all type of blisters on the bottom of your toes. On the bottom of your foot. I'm sorry. Read.
So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife.
So he's letting you know, just as you walk on hot coals and your feet get blisters on them, right? And as you take hot coals into your shirt, just like you do that, 29.
So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife.
The same way that feels, a man gonna put hot lead in your butt. Just says, if you go into his wife, watch his read.
Whosoever toucheth her,
Whoever touches her
shall not be innocent.
See, God's letting you know, if you touch a married man's wife, you're not gonna be innocent. Ain't nothing you can say to that man. Man, I was just horny. It's a million women out here that's single. Read, watch this.
Men do not despise a thief.
Man, you know what? We'll see somebody stealing and we be like, right, read it, soldier.
Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul.
We all know that a man, he's hungry, man. You damn, man. Matter of fact, you might just sit, man, take $10, man. Go buy you some damn food, man. But watch this.
When he is hungry.
When he's hungry.
But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house.
Come on.
But whoso committeth adultery.
Is whoever committed adultery.
With a woman.
With a what?
With a woman.
With a woman.
Lacketh understanding.
See, now, God is giving you straight up blank. If you commit adultery with a married woman, we talking about you brothers in the truth. We're not talking about the brothers in the world. We talking about all you brothers in the truth. It don't matter what color you got on in this truth. Alright? I don't care if you got polka dots on. I don't care if you got the checkerboard shirt on. Whatever you got on, it doesn't matter. He's talking to you brothers in the truth. Read it again, soldier.
But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding.
You lack understanding. You mean you do not understand the laws of God. Come on.
He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
You might as well just go ahead and bone the whole world down. Just go and go on a whole mother spree. Take down every chick you can. Take down every chick you can take down. Because God is letting you know right now, you are not in the truth no more. Let's see who it says it. Read it again. You okay? You need to switch over? Okay. Sure? Need some more water? Okay.
But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding.
Come on.
And he that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
You hate your own self. You hate yourself. You might as well go on an AIDS convention right now. They got a shirt for you. I am trying to catch AIDS. Why? Because God said you hate your own soul. Read.
A wound and dishonor shall he get.
Hold on, God said what?
A wound and dishonor shall he get.
Some brothers is going to get a wound. It's going to be that pistol. And that dishonor goes into your eye and all the way back. Because God said, I'm not playing with you. I'm going to tell you, man, I'm going to tell you a story about me growing up. When I was growing up, I had these dreams. I had these dreams when I was younger. And these dreams, right, I was always be fighting in the dreams. And as I'm fighting in the dreams, everybody's 10 times faster and I'm 10 times slower. Meaning they hit me with 50 knocks. And look, my punch is coming like this. And when I hit them with that slow punch, it goes like this. Poof. I didn't even phase them. That's how it's gonna be with God when you do that to a man. And they'll hit you 50 times and your punch now you gonna phase them. You gotta remember that, man. God is not playing with us with that conscious thing. Let's go back to Exodus 20. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17 again.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant,
Nor his manservant,
nor his maidservant,
Read.
nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Give me Exodus 21 and 22.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 22.
What do they go into right there when you sleep with your with a man's wife? What they go into?
Adultery.
Okay, what else? What's today's class?
That's crime against your own people.
That's black on black crime. See how people don't look at it like that. It's black on black crime, man. Because if you sleep with that man's wife and that man kills you, or y'all get into a fight and he hurt you, or you hurt him, that's black on black crime, man. Exodus 21, come on.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child,
So two men is fighting and they hurt a woman with child.
so that her fruit depart from her,
Did the baby come out of her
and yet no mischief follows,
and still nothing else happens?
he shall surely be punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine.
You see that two brothers fight each other. And two brothers fighting with each other. No, read it again.
Exodus chapter 21 verse 22. If men strive,
If men strive, two men fighting, right? Alright, okay, that's how I want it. I'm just trying to make sure. Alright, if men strive, you got two men fighting. And a woman gets hit in the midst of it, right? What is that called? Black on black what? Crime. Because you got two men going against each other. And now they have caused the woman to lose a baby. Because y'all wasn't supposed to be fighting in the first place. That makes sense? Black on black crime. That thing happens right now today way too often. Keep on reading, soldier.
verse 23. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out the manservant's tooth, or his maidservants to, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake.
You see that thing right there? Putting our hands on our brothers and sisters is black on black crime. So you sit around here fighting your brothers and sisters. Can't y'all imagine us at a new moon and everybody sitting there just fighting? Giddy. Look at how she's so. People get hit with chairs and stuff. TV on. Look, somebody got flat screen TV on their head. Hey, can't y'all see these things? Right. Can't y'all see these things? That will be. What you think God would say to us? What you think, boy, we would be good for us with it.
Right.
See what I mean? That's why these is the opposite outside these doors. You get together with Negroes, and Negroes do what? They want to do the opposite. They want to turn the club up. Not against no other nationality. They want to fight their own what? All right, from our soldier. Give me Exodus chapter 22, and I want 1 through 5.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 1.
Let's see some more black on black crime. Come on.
If a man steal an ox,
So if you steal an ox
or a sheep, and kill it, or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox.
why did God say? You know this God saying when you steal something, you get caught stealing something, you got a 7-fold or 5 or whatever. How many times God's saying is because God's letting you know if you steal something, you was hungry, you had to feed your family. All right. Now, what you gonna do though is now you stole that. I'm gonna make you where it was hard for you to get one. Now you gotta return it 5 times. That'll keep you from stealing the next time. You see what I mean? God, you already was struggling. That's why you stole the 1 ox. But now God said, no, you gotta restore that 5 times. Like, damn, how am I gonna do this? You should have stole the first one.
Sure.
That makes sense to y'all? All right, come on.
Verse 2. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he died,
That breaking up means breaking in.
there shall no blood be shed for him.
Come on.
If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft.
So go back up to verse 2. It says, if a thief be found breaking in, and be smitten that he died, there should no blood be shed for him. See, so it is a such thing as self-defense. That's the self-defense law right there. It is a such thing as self-defense. Because if a thief is breaking in your house while you in there, you don't know what his intentions are. If he comes in that house at night while you and your wife is asleep, or you, your wife, and your kids are asleep, you're not trying to negotiate with a brother. You're not, how would you say?
Steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
Those 3 things.
You're not trying to negotiate with him. That's why God, read it again, that's why God put this law there. Watch this.
Exodus 22 and verse 2. If a thief be found breaking in, and be smitten that he died, there shall no blood be shed for him.
You got to remember, man, God put that in there because brothers and sisters don't do bad things to each other. If you break in my house, man, I don't know your intentions. If you rob me on the streets, I can probably let you get away with it. But you break in my house, I'm going to kill you. Because I don't know your intentions. You might be coming in here to kill my whole family. If you needed a piece of bread, knock on the damn door. Bro, can you give me a loaf of bread? Because I was going to rob you. Here, man, take the damn bread. Here, surely take the bread, bro. Damn. In fact, here, give me brother some turkey with that. You need some milk whip? And some mustard. We got you, bro. The whole salad out here. Burgers, everything, burgers. We're going to take care of you.
Verse 3. If the sun be risen
Now, verse 4.
Verse 4. If the theft be certainly found in his hands alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double.
You see, there I go again. Now God said you got to restore it double. Come on.
If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field and of the best of his own vineyard, then he shall make restitution.
So God got things installed, but why did God have to put in these laws? Why did he just leave it at the 10 Commandments? Why did he have to put in these laws? Because we was already doing it. And the other nations was what? Doing it. Give me Leviticus 18, verse 2, soldier. Watch this. Watch what God tells us when we come out of Egypt.
The book of Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 2.
Come on.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them,
Read.
I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt,
After the doing of the Africans,
wherein ye dwelt,
where you was at,
shall ye not do.
see, God let us know off the dribble. They slept with each other's brothers. They slept brothers and sisters, mama and brothers, daddies and daughters. They all slept with whoever they wanted to. They all ate whatever they wanted to. They all partied whenever they wanted to. God's letting you know you can't do it. This is not your job. Your job is to love your neighbor as yourself. You know how easy it is to hate somebody, but you know how hard it is to love somebody? We talking about really love somebody. When you really love somebody, you gotta correct them. And you know it's gonna hurt their feelings. But you still gotta what? You gonna take all the flack. But I'm gonna tell you something. When you really love your people, you gonna correct them, man. The last thing you want to see is this world blown up and you see your people get burnt up because they didn't want to listen to God. You know how happy and disappointed you will be at the same time? Happy that your ass ain't down there burning, but sad that, damn, bro couldn't even get himself together. Or damn, sis couldn't get herself together. If y'all get cold, turn that air up to 70. Turn that air up, guys. Soldier George, get the air, please. Turn it up. Look, they got the. Y'all okay? Look, she cold. Can't come up, they cold. I got you. What we gonna do is. Turn it down a little bit.
Hey, tell her to give you a blanket. Take her. Right.
To 72 or what?
Go up 70, about 75. All right, there you go. All right. That's okay. It'll be okay. The fan is still rotating. It's still in here. Go ahead. Go ahead, man. Quit looking like that. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 5. Ye shall keep therefore my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
I am the Lord. So where we at?
Verse 6.
Which one?
Leviticus 18 and 6.
Okay, that's I was through with that. Okay. Go back, soldier, to Exodus. Where was we at?
Exodus 20.
Did we read 22, 1 through 5? Yeah, we read there. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I'm where we jump to 16.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16.
Yeah, here we go.
And if a man entice a maid.
This is another black on black crime.
And if a man entice a maid.
Hold on real quick, soldier. This is another black on black crime, brothers. Read it again.
And if a man entice a maid.
Meaning you kicking your woo to a, you know, I get all type of words, come on.
That is not betrothed.
Hey, she not betrothed. Hey, you know what? Real brothers understand what I'm saying. Y'all, what's up, man? Yeah, I know. I'll praise you, bro. Go ahead. And she not betrothed.
and lie with her,
I think we on my way out.
He-
And lie with lie
he
with
shall
her.
surely endow her to be his wife.
One more time. Read it one more time, Soldier. Come on.
And if a man entice a
So
maid
you kicking your game to the woman,
that is not betrothed,
and she's not betrothed, not promised to no other man. Read.
and lie with her,
And you lie with that woman.
he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
How many of y'all brothers in America do that? How many of y'all brothers in Africa do that? How many of you brothers in Jamaica do that? How many of you brothers in Guatemala do that? Guatemala. How many of you brothers in Jamaica? Dominican Republic? The Bahamas Islands? None of y'all apply that law in your life. Y'all lay with these women that get pregnant, y'all leave them. I don't feel sorry for the woman because she's pregnant. I feel sorry because y'all brothers and sisters are hurting each other. That's black on black crime. We supposed to marry the women when we lay with them. 9 out of 10, the woman's just got a lust and the man got a lust. So what happens? They lay together, one get pregnant, the dude is gone. He's out of there. Only thing that you waiting for is child support. Black on black one. Crime. Is that it? The next one, Soldier, is give me Exodus 23 and 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 1.
Read.
Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Hey, come on. So, that's another black on black crime. It's lying on your brothers. Lying on your brothers and sisters, black on black crime. See, we think black on black crime is just a brother shooting you. No, man. It's not just a brother shooting you, man. Lying, dealing falsely, all that is black on black crime. Because you know what's funny is, y'all get around white folks, so-called white folks, and y'all be real honest with them and lie right in front of your brother. Lie to your brother, but honest as hell with the white folk. White folks lying to you like a mom. Yeah, we love you. Yeah, you know we all equal. God loves everybody. How long Christ is white? They right. I'm gonna say it again. Like how long Christ is white, they right. As long as you believe that Christ is white, you okay with them. As soon as you say he's black, they say, damn, he got a brown. Oh, damn, all right, right there. Hey, well, I might be a part. Okay, back to the con. All right. One day, we're going to look back on this and laugh. I'll praise the Most High. All right, let's get back to it. So, verse 2.
Verse 2. Where we at again, sorry? 23 and 2.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest judgment.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, Soldier Herman. I ain't trying to be funny, boy, but a bitch, boy, you read the bitch, he better hit you with a book. I'll tell you right there, you in the hospital right there. A book.
I apologize.
I know.
I was multitasking.
I got you. You gotta quit that. You gotta pay attention, man. You gotta pay attention. Can you see it though? Verse 2. Go ahead. I throw microphones, he throw books. Go ahead, read.
Exodus 23 and verse 2 again. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest judgment.
You see that when you speak in a false way to make someone to, like, somebody accuses somebody of something, but you know that it ain't right? You know that what these people are saying is right, but you talking to the person to make them change their mind. You know what I mean? Like let me give you an example. Soldier George, right? Soldier George said something negative about Soldier Herman. Alright, and you heard it, but I'm over here. I'm like, look, I was, Herman is like that though, bro. So I'm down. I'm making. You see what I'm doing? I'm making Officer wrestle with what Judge, even though he knew what you said to Soldier Herman was wrong. I'm trying to make him wrestle with that judgment. Like I'm trying to make him think that what you said was right, instead of him saying instead of him, his first man thought was, hey, that's wrong. Soldier George, you can't be talking to Soldier Herman like that. But I come, because I'm over officer, I'll be like, nah, bro, that was right, bro. You see, I'm making him wrestle with the right judgment. That makes sense to you?
Yes, sir.
I might explain it. Sometimes I have trouble explaining when y'all do a class and they do it again. All right, let's go. Keep on going.
Now, verse 3. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause.
Read it.
Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause.
Uh-huh.
If thou meet thine enemy's ox, or his ass go astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again.
How many of y'all seen somebody's animal, your neighbor's animal run out the house and would not bring the animal back to the neighbor? You don't tell the neighbor that, you just let the dog run off. That's right there what we was doing. It's evil. Our animals walk off. We don't tell nobody or nothing. It's evil, man. It's black on black crime. If you see somebody's pit bull out there, instead of you telling the people, hey, bro, your pit bull is out there. Instead of you going to tell him that, you let the dog bite 5 people down the block, and now that man's facing charges. That's black on black what? Crime. It's evil. Next, come on.
Verse 5. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him.
Did you see that thing right there? See, that's what I was just talking about right there. The pit bull. I just gave you the example of that. If you see somebody's animal and he needs help, he can't lift that animal, but you say, shoot, that ain't my animal. You go sit on the porch in the rocking chair and rock back and forth. Shoot, I ain't helping you. That's evil, and it's black on black what? Come on.
Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
Read it again.
Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor in his cause.
Don't wrestle with the judgment of the poor in his cause. Come on.
Keep thee far from a false matter.
So the Bible says, keep me far from a false matter. Watch this.
And the innocent and righteous slay thou not.
Come on.
For I will not justify the wicked.
So when it's black on black crime, when brothers and sisters out here killing innocent people, like a young boy, even a young boy that is not innocent, like I'm gonna give you an example. A young boy, he don't do God's laws, but he's just walking to the bus stop to go to school, and somebody kills him. That's wicked, man. That's black on black what? Black on black crime. Because you got to remember, if we wasn't under the curses, we would be under God's laws, meaning everybody be holy, right? But since we under the curses, it's going to be brothers and sisters going to die like that. Walking to the bus stop, going to the store. You know how many kids go to the store and got abducted? You know how many kids that been sleeping in their bed and got shot in the head by stray bullets? It's not no accident, man. There's no such thing as an accident. That's thus says the Lord. You think if God loved everybody, babies when they would be born, how many of those babies took one breath and died? Think about that, man. Some babies don't get no breath. Read.
Verse 8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise.
Stop. That's also black on black crime. You paying somebody off so they won't tell on you. You paying somebody off so somebody else won't get in trouble. Those things right there are people who is wise to do what? Evil. Are people wise to do evil, man? Read it again, soldier.
Verse 8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise.
See, because if somebody gives you a gift, like you just seen somebody get shot right outside, and somebody gives you $10,000 not to say nothing, that's the gift that blinded the wise. Come on.
And perverted the words of the righteous.
Did you see that? It perverted the words of the righteous. See what I mean? Pervert. Give me Leviticus chapter. No, I already did that. Give me Leviticus 19:17.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17.
Watch this.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So the Bible says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in the heart. Come on.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
You know what's so heavy about this scripture right here? It says, thou shalt not hate thy neighbor in thy heart, and thou shalt anywise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin. So when we rebuking people, we're not suffering them to continue in what? Sin. If you don't rebuke somebody, you are continually to let them suffer in sin. So if, like, let me give you an example. If, say, Sister Carla was walking down the street, and she had pants on, and I turned the corner, and I seen it was Sister Carla with these pants on. So I pulls over so she can't see me, and I just let her walk on down the street and go into our house. And I don't never say nothing to Sister Carla without those pants. I mean, without about her having those pants on. What just happened right there? Somebody explain it.
You didn't correct her.
Okay, we know I didn't correct it, but explain me what happened.
No, you caused her to stay in sin, and also you're in sin yourself.
Well said. Well said. So read it again with that understanding. Watch this.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
See, when you don't rebuke somebody, guys, for what they do, you don't love them. Hold on. What's that? Give me Romans chapter 3, verse 3, please. Is that me just saying that? Is that just come out the Bible? Let's see what God said. Watch this.
The book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 3.
Come on.
For what if some did not believe?
What did some didn't believe?
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Come on.
God forbid. Yea, let God be true.
The Bible said, let God be true.
And every man a liar.
Okay, now let's go back and read Leviticus 19 and 17 again.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So, why? Come on.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
So, when you hate your brother, you're not what? Rebuking your brother. I'm going to say it again. When you hate your brother, you are not rebuking your brother. You're trying to keep an unstable relationship going. You got one person sinning and one person's not. That's an unstable relationship. Because you're not applying rebuke to the scriptures. It says, thou shalt not suffer thy brother to sin. So when you sitting back and you saying, I ain't gonna say that so I can still be cool with them, you are just as wicked as they are. That's black on black crime. When we don't correct each other in the Israelite community, we are allowing crime to happen in our community. How can we be peace officers when we ain't got no peace in us? That makes sense? Come on.
Verse 18.
Hold on. Right there. Give me First John chapter 3, verse 15. 1 John chapter 3, verse 15.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
So you know they're murderer. So whoever hated his brother is a murderer. So we just determined that hate is not rebuking your what? Your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your neighbor. Hate is not rebuking your neighbor. Everybody understand it? If somebody's letting you get away with sin, I'm going to say crime, but it is crime because it's crime against God. If somebody's letting you get away with sin, they do not got the love of God in them. Where was I? I was going to go somewhere real quick. Hold on, let me get my thoughts back. What's that we just read?
1 John 3 and 15.
Read that one more time.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
And now we know that when you allow your brothers to sin, right? You got hatred for your brother. Watch this. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Give me Matthew chapter 10. Alright, everybody pay very much attention to this. I'm going to show you an example is what's going to go on in this same story 33.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 33.
Read.
But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven.
Meaning, like you brothers that don't want to put on your fringes, or you brothers that keep your beard, you still cutting your beard. You brothers, you sisters who won't wear your dress or tell no woman to wear dresses. That's how you deny Christ. Watch this. Next verse.
Verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword.
See, those is the ones that's going to rebuke. That's the sword. He said in the word of God. That's that sword he said. The rebuking is going to cause this. Read.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
You're gonna be at war with your own father. Watch this.
And the daughter against her mother.
And the daughter against her mother. Because the man is going to argue with his father. Look, you know this, those two, read it again. Watch this, 35, watch this.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Read.
And the daughter against her mother.
There's two married people. One's got to rebuke the father. The other's got to rebuke the what? The mother. Watch this.
And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
And the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. Read.
And a man's foe.
And a man's enemy
shall be they of his own household.
Black on black crime. Once you correct, rebuke people, they become your what? Black on black crime. So when we go back to Leviticus 19 and 7, it's a little deeper than what you think, wasn't it? Just a little touch deeper. Read it again.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
You should in any wise rebuke your neighbor.
And not suffer sin upon him.
So when you're not rebuking your neighbor, you hate your neighbor. Read it. Come on.
Verse 20.
No, 18. Where the hell? 18.
Oh, verse 18, excuse me. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Thou shalt not avenge.
But thou shalt love thy...
soldier. Thou shalt not avenge. Give me that definition, please. Definition of avenge. Listen to what this says.
Avenge. Inflict harm in return for the injury or wrong done to oneself or another.
Come on, go down.
Inflict harm on behalf of oneself or someone else's previously wronged or harmed.
So, the next one. Number 3.
Okay. Third.
Give me that on avenge.
To exact satisfaction for a wrong by punishing the wrongdoer was determined to avenge the assault.
Okay, so when you avenge somebody, it's like taking revenge. You know what I mean? It's like, alright. So when we avenge, you got it. Oh, that's right. I told you though. Let me see what you got. Okay, to inflict harm on behalf of someone or oneself or someone else previously wronged or harmed, right? So when we avenging, we're avenging for something that someone have done to us, right? So read that again with that understanding. Watch this.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
So just because somebody corrected you, you cannot avenge him. Because somebody, I'm bringing this out because we see this in Israel a whole lot. When you corrected me, brother, now brothers is looking with binoculars. They try to see what you're doing to try to get you what? Back. This is what this is talking about. A lot of our brothers don't understand the meaning of the scriptures. You got corrected, so now you're looking for revenge to correct that brother because he corrected you. It happens in Israel every day. Read it again, soldier.
Leviticus 19, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge.
So when you avenge, you are bearing a what?
Grudge.
Read.
Against the children of thy people. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's the whole sum of the whole thing is, it says, 17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, thou shalt not anywhere rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon them. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of my people. The only reason a brother is avenging or holding grudges is because they got rebuked. They got corrected. Give you an example. Give me Luke. That's what we went over the other day, soldier, 17. Give you an example. Watch this.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 1. Then he said unto the disciples, it is impossible.
It's impossible.
But that offenses will come.
Offenses will come. Watch this.
But woe unto him whom they come. It were better for him.
Why did they get offended? Why he said it says it's impossible, but offenses will come. Why?
The rebuke will come too.
Yes, the rebuke will come. Watch this. Verse 2.
Verse 2. It were better for him that a millstone be hanged around his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones.
Because he's been rebuked. He's been rebuked. Now he's burned a grudge. Now he wants some revenge. What's some of the things a brother do, officer, when they want revenge? Explain me some things they do, please.
things a brother will do if they want revenge.
If they want revenge on you, give me some.
I mean, they'll try to set you up.
They'll try to set you up. What type of way?
Well, for one, they'll lie on
Okay, they'll lie on you.
you. Yeah. I mean, say some things that's not correct about you, so
Okay, they'll say some things not correct about you.
so other people will dislike you,
Okay, you see that?
or you know.
Or go against you. Anybody else want to help him out with that first point he said?
Was digging up dirt.
They what?
Digging up dirt.
Dig up dirt. They'll dig up dirt. Come on, you got anything else?
Old offenses, like he said, well, they'll set you up. Say, for instance, two guys get together, maybe you going out, you'll have a single lady. See what you'll do.
Okay, hold on real quick. Hold on. Here, hand it down from me. Hand it to her and give it all the way back to me. All right, yeah, talk up. I can't hear you. It's on.
Yeah, how somebody may sit you in setting you up, putting you in a position where you're in a vulnerable position around maybe women,
Okay.
and just see how you're gonna react, and then you might become, let's say, let your guard down and do something you shouldn't.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
So putting you in a position, or putting you in a bad position where you can fail. Is that what you're saying?
Right, exactly.
A bad position where you can fail. Like they might, like you said, they can take you around a group of women, and they knew that you was a whoremonger back in the days. So they take you around a group of women, and then next thing you know, they taking pictures of you with the woman.
Exactly.
With the women. That makes sense. That's a great analogy right there. That's great. Anybody else, you got anything, Soldier Herman, to add to that? All right, come on, keep reading. No, that's it. Yeah, read verse 3.
Verse 3. Take heed to yourself. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And if he repent, forgive him.
Stop. I'm going to give you an example. If your brother, if it says, take heed to yourself. If that brother trespass against thee, meaning say that I said something that you don't like, Soldier George. I said something you don't like, right? You come and you tell me, you're like, hey, Elder, I didn't like how you said it. My job is to what? To apologize to Soldier George. Say that I didn't apologize for Soldier George. What could that cause?
Friction.
It causes friction. Distrust. Hate. It causes hate. So now Soldier George gonna hold it what? See that thing right there? Just because of a simple thing is he said, hey man, I didn't like how you said that kid. And I said, man, I'm sorry, man. That I'm sorry could have took and changed the whole thing right there. See what I mean? So we're not supposed to hold grudges, brother. All right, so let's go back to Leviticus one more time, verse 18, please.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 18.
Then I'm going to give you an example of it. Come on.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Now let's see what Christ did in this situation. Give me Matthew 5 and 43.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 43. Ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies.
Love your enemies.
Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you.
You see that? So Christ says, but I say unto you, love your enemies. Meaning, treat them within the what? Commandments. Treat them within the commandments. The commandment says, love your neighbors, you love yourself. Don't burn no grudge, or don't avenge or burn no what? Grudge. That's what the commandment says, right? And it says, bless them that curse you. Alright? Do good to them that hate you. Meaning, still have respect for people. even though they hate you. Just have respectful. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. That way you are completing Leviticus 19, 17, 18. You're completing it. Do y'all see that? You completing it. That's how you love your neighbor as you love yourself. But watch this. From her, give me Soldier Herman, give me Matthew chapter 26, verse 38. Now let's see how Christ kept his calm. Let's see how Christ did not bear a grudge or avenge himself. Let's read it. Come on.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 38.
Come on.
Then said he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and wait and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them, and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and said unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of the sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me.
Come on, read.
And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whosoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Told him fast. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword, and struck a servant of the high priest, and smote off his ear. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into this place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
See, all that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Read.
Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Come on.
And how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be?
See, he's letting them know, I don't have to defend myself, because the scriptures must come to pass. Come on.
In that same hour said Jesus to the multitude, Are you come out as against a thief with swords and staves, for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
Read it again.
Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled.
What scripture you on? Verse what?
Verse 57.
Okay, read 56. One more time.
Verse 56. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
And so 56.
Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
And so y'all know this now. So we read that, right? So they came and got Jesus, right? And when Peter pulled out his knife, his sword, right, and he cut the one of the officers' ears, right, one of the chief scribes areas, right? What did Christ tell him to do? Put it back up, right? Why?
Because it was appointed for him to be where he was at that time.
Okay.
Peter didn't understand it.
Okay. And also, if Peter would have killed one of them for Christ, it would have been black on black what?
Well,
You see what I mean? Did Christ allow him to do that? No. Did Christ fight them when they came? No. See what I mean? Christ just gave you the pure example right there. He could have said, all right, let's fight. But he did not do that. He went in what? Peace. Wasn't no black man killed at the hand of Christ defended him. So it was no such thing as you go out here and kill somebody because your cousin got shot. There no such thing. Did the disciples kill anybody after Christ got killed?
no.
See what I mean? So what gives a brother the right? Your brother got smoked because he was selling dope. Your cousin got smoked because he was selling dope. Your girl cousin got killed because she was out here hoeing. What gives you the right to avenge somebody? You don't have no right. It makes sense to y'all. You don't have no right. Christ did not defend himself. Give me Matthew 19:19. Watch this.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 19. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Read it again.
Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So we should honor our father and mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Why did Christ keep on giving that law out all through the Bible? Why do you keep on giving that law out all through the Bible? Anybody want to try it?
I guess all throughout the Bible was just like modern day. Israelites was just always constantly hating each other. He constantly had to remind them.
Okay. I'll take it. That was pretty good. You know, he constantly had to remind them because they always had hatred towards one another. Constantly have to. That's how it's sad when you constantly got to remind somebody to love your own people, love your own nation. That's sad. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what I got. Oh, okay. Don't worry about that. From where, give me Micah 2:8. Micah 2:8, please. We almost done.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 8. Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy.
Read it again.
Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy.
So the Bible says, even as late, my people is risen up as an enemy. Come on.
Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by.
So our people been robbing brothers and sisters. We've been robbing Israelites. This thing ain't nothing what? New. You always robbing somebody. You always taking somebody. Always black on black crime. It's been from the beginning when Cain killed Abel. It's been from the beginning. When Eve went against Adam, it's been from the beginning. Black on black crime have always been here. You cannot stop it. The only person can stop it is God. Our people is not ever able to get along and to be obedient. That's why he said, let me show you something. Soldier, how many, I'm going to give you both y'all shot. How many people's in the world right now?
Around about 7 billion.
Okay. You agree with that? You agree with that, right? Give me Revelations 12. No, Revelation 7. It's 7 billion people. Everybody agree with that, right? Roughly in the world right now, right? Give me Revelation 7 and 3.
The book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 3.
Read.
Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their forehead.
We already went to the service earlier, which was Israel. Watch this.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
Read.
And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Can I ask y'all a question? It is over 7 billion people in the world right now. And it's only going to be 144,000 men that God is looking for leadership. Only 144,000 men out of 7 billion people. I'm gonna say, ain't no resting. Y'all not hearing it.
Wow.
144,000 men out of over 7 billion people. It's a lot of people, man. So what I want y'all to see is it's not that many people that's doing God's laws. Let's go back. Let's go back. Where was it? No, 2 and 8.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Even of late, my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by, securely, as men averse from war.
So you see, man, this men's coming back from war. You have been robbing these men. You have been robbing these men. Black on black crime. That's why it's only 144,000 men that God is looking for to be leaders. And then you got a great multitude coming after that. But some of them ain't gonna make it. Some of them gonna get over it. They're gonna want to do their own thing, and they're gonna get put to what? Death. Watch this. What was you gonna add? I was gonna add something to that real quick. Revelations. Well, I'll just go to Revelations. What? 7, 3, and 4, right? That's very poor something. Alright. That's alright. Let's almost finish this up. Give me ABC's Black on Black Crimes. A loaded conversation. I don't know. Give me that. You got it?
Yes, sir. Black on black crime, a loaded and controversial phrase often heard amid calls for police reform.
Go ahead.
But what about black on black crime? It's a retort sometimes heard in the context of the protests surrounding the death of George Floyd and Black Lives Matter.
Herman, I want to read down to Black Enterprise magazines. That's the last line right there, okay?
All right. Yes, sir. But what about black on black crime? It's a retort sometimes heard in the context of the protests surrounding the death of George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, often as the idea that there is a rampant crime problem within the black and mainly urban communities that some are choosing to ignore in favor of focusing on police brutality.
Go ahead.
It's a question sometimes asked in the context of recent news stories, such as the drive-by shooting of 15 funeral mourners in a predominantly black Chicago neighborhood of Auburn, Gresham. The deceased, Donnie Weatherby, a black man, was killed in an earlier gang-related shooting, police said. In a phrase or concept that at times recently have been used by some conservatives to ask why the same activists and community members calling for police reform seemingly, in their view, don't express the same outrage when someone who is black is killed or injured by another black person. In 2015, Donald Trump, when he was candidate for president, tweeted a misleading graphic that claimed that 97% of black people killed are killed by other black people, and that 80% of white people killed are killed by black people.
You see that right there? Read that part again. How 90 what?
97% of black people killed are killed by other black people.
I believe that. I know it's in the high 90s. I don't know if it's 97%, but it's in the high 90s. We kill ourselves. Go ahead, soldier. Keep on going.
And 80% of white people killed are killed by black people.
Hey, but we know that's not right. Come on. Our people ain't killing nothing like that. Richie Cafe. Yeah, that's what he said Donald Trump did. It was misleading. Come on.
Fact checkers deemed the tweet as promoting false statistics.
So they did. It was false. Come on.
The tweet was quickly revealed as erroneous, according to the Washington Post. From the FBI's Universal Crime Report in 2014, 90% of black people killed were killed by other black people.
So that is true. 90% of black people was killed by other black people. Watch this.
And 14.8% of white people killed were killed by black people.
You see how Donald Trump played with those numbers horribly? Only 14%. This dude said 80%. What the hell? Are you serious? Black folks think y'all God. That's why they won't kill y'all. They'll kill 90% of their people and 14% of y'all people. And that's only because and some of those is car wrecks. Don't get it twisted. Some of those are car wrecks. Some of those is some other stuff. It's not gunfire. It's not gunfire. I guarantee you. Go ahead.
The phrase is not only used by
If
white
they break it down in categories, it'd probably be 4 or 5% that killed white men with guns. Go ahead.
The phrase is not only used by white people, but also by some black people calling out crimes in their communities. John Ayala reportedly used the phrase after his grandson, 11-year-old David McNeil, was fatally shot during the 4th of July cookout in Washington, D.C. According to the Associated Press, the family is black, as per Ayala's social media, as are the suspect in McNeil's death. We're protesting for months, for weeks, saying Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. It seems like only when a police officer shoots a black person.
You see that right there, guys? This is something that our people is not coming to reality to. They are out there protesting when a white police officer doing his duty. I'm not going to say not all of them, but majority of them, he's doing his duty. Because God says if we resist the powers, that we will get put to what? Get put to death. So, do they have a right to kill our people? Yes. Why? Because God put them over top of our people. If you want to, do they supposed to be doing it according to God's laws? No. But God allowed the wicked to be over top of us. I'm going to rephrase that. We allowed the wicked to be over top of us because we controlled our destiny. If we would have been doing God's laws, we'll be above all nations. But since we didn't do God's laws, we below all what? Nations. Am I saying is it right for white police to kill a black man? Hell to the no, I'm not saying that. But what I'm telling you is this, that the percentage of the police killing us is a very low percent. The reason why it gets so much play is because that's we lashing out because we can't stop the crimes in our communities. Our people, believe me, man, our people ain't stupid. They really hurt by us killing each other, but they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do about it. You cannot get out of it if you don't have a solution. We give them the solution every time we go out on the streets and give them a flyer. Every time we give them the word, we giving them the solution. But they don't want that solution. They want the solution where they can still live in this world, still be around their slave masters, and not get killed. That's what they're looking for. We giving them the solution to get away from your slave master, to get your mind right with your slave master, and to be able to live because God is who protects you. Come on.
What about all the black on black crime that's happening in the community? Asked Ayala in a video posted on Bravian.com. ABC News reached out to Ayala to confirm this statement, but has yet to receive a response. In the case of 9-year-old Devont Bryant, who was fatally shot in New Orleans earlier in July, New Orleans Police Superintendent Sean Ferguson, who was black, pleaded with the community for an end to what he called senseless violence and black-on-black crime, reported Fox 8 News. After the death of 8-year-old Sequoia Turner, allegedly by a black teen, 2 black Atlanta City Council members used it as well. If Black Lives Matter, they have to matter all the time.
I'll say it again.
If Black Lives Matter, they have to matter all the time.
Come on.
And black on black killing, any killing that is unnecessary, they all matter, they said.
Mm-hmm.
Those who use the term say it is an important point in describing the disproportionate amount of crime perpetuated by the black people against other black people. However, there are activists and academics who say that black on black crime is an offensive phrase. Its origins rooted in America's racist legacy and meant to demean black people as criminally inclined.
So, how far are you down? Are you back? Are you close to the black? Okay, come on.
One more paragraph.
Go ahead.
Some also say it is misleading. White people are mainly killed by white people, they say. But there is no conversation on white crime. That's it.
All right. So, did you go read down to the Black Enterprise, the magazine, the guy holding the gun?
Okay.
Keep reading.
The earliest modern references to black on black crime came from black media. In
Read it again.
The earliest modern references to black on black crime came from black media.
Why were the white men trying to stop us to do it? Why were we on their TV shows? I mean, they're on their networks. Why they ain't been in our communities to help us out?
That was a good thing. Shoot, we ain't got to go and kill them ourselves. So let them kill each other.
See what I mean? They control everything with that media, right? Why do they got so much killing in that media? Why all they movies is you analyzing dope dealers. You're making them look bigger than what? Than they are. What do you think our people gonna do when you making the dope dealer look like he's the man? These movies are set up as a trap for us. Give me Isaiah chapter 51. Hold that. Give me Isaiah chapter 51, verse 21, please. They got our brothers and sisters on these blocks acting like we are Nino Browns. There's no such damn thing as a Nino Brown. The Nino Brown is made from the white man's system.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 51 and verse 22.
Read.
Thus said Thus said thy Lord, the Lord and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold,
I said 51, 21.
51 and 21, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Therefore hear thou this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord and thy God, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand.
No, I want 20. I'm sorry. 51 and 20. Come on.
Verse 20. Thy sons have fainted.
The Bible says thy sons have fainted. Watch this.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
They lie at the head of every street. What is our brothers and sisters doing when they lying at the head of these streets? They doing what? Hanging out. What they hanging out doing? Selling drugs. Selling drugs. Selling drugs, drinking. What else? Acting a fool. So we said our sons have fainted. Come on.
They lie at the head of all the streets.
Read.
As a wild bull.
As a what?
As a wild bull.
You know a wild bull is strong. Can you hold a wild bull with a net? No. A wild bull with a net is gonna drag you. As a wild bull
in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord.
See, these brothers is full of God's revenge. Full of. So when in the article, the woman said, let's go back to the last part of the article. Was it a woman or a man that said it?
The earliest modern references to black-on-black crime came from the black media.
Read.
In 1979, Ebony magazine, the first commercially successful black-owned magazine focusing on the African-American community, featured an article about black-on-black crime.
You see it right there. Now, they feature an article on black crime. Let me ask y'all a question, man. If these people loves you, why would the black-on-black crime be cut off? You know, they honestly get paid for police to be put on every street corner. Honestly. They make their own money. A police can be on every street corner. But why would they want that to happen when they make money off of you living anything? So I got a couple more scriptures to go, but what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna skip over that one. I'm gonna skip over Paul. Now let's come on. Let me give you an example of Paul. Give me Acts chapter 23 and 9.
The book of Acts, chapter 23 and verse 9.
Watch this.
And there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were in the Pharisees' part arose, and strove, saying, We find no evil in this man, but if a spirit or an angel hath spoken to him, let us not fight against God.
Mm-hmm.
And when there arose a great dissension, the chief captain, fearing lest Paul should have been pulled in pieces of them, commanded the soldiers to go down and to take him by force from among them, and to bring him into the castle. And the night following, the Lord stood by him and said, Be of good cheer, Paul.
Come on.
For as thou hast testified of me in Jerusalem, so must thou bear witness also at Rome.
You remember what the other day we was talking about? That's the example where we went to 23. I should have started up farther. But you see that God made them snatch Paul up right there. That's why he came. That's why Christ came to him. Said you're going to have to do the same thing in Rome. Watch this, read.
And when it was day, a certain of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under a curse, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul.
No. What they do?
They would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul.
Read.
And they were more than 40 which had made this conspiracy.
Read.
And they came to the chief priests and elders and said, We have bound ourselves under a great curse.
Then they came to the leaders of the people, of the Israelites, and they said what?
we have bound ourselves under a great curse, that we will eat nothing until we have slain Paul. Now therefore, ye with the council signify to the chief captain that he bring him down unto you to the morrow, as though ye would require something more perfectly concerning him. And we, or ever he come near, are ready to kill him.
You see that? Black on black what? Crime. Read.
And when Paul's sister's son heard of their lying in wait, he went and entered into the castle and told Paul. Then Paul called one of the centurions unto him and said, bring this young man unto the chief captain, for he hath a certain thing to tell him. So he took him and brought him to the chief captain and said, Paul, the prisoner, called me unto him, and prayed me to bring this young man unto thee, who hath something to say unto thee. Then the chief captain took him by the hand, and went with him aside privately, and asked him, what is that? What is it that thou hast to tell me? And he said, the Jews have agreed to desire
The what?
The Jews have agreed to desire thee,
The black man.
that thou wouldest bring down Paul tomorrow into the council, as though they would inquire somewhat of him more perfectly.
Read.
But do not thou yield unto them, for there lie in wait for him of them more than 40 men, which have bound themselves with an oath that they would neither eat nor drink till they have killed him. And now they are ready, looking for a promise from thee.
So, that's it. Verse 21. Give me John 3 and 1. This will be the last scriptures. John 3 and 1. John 3 and verse 1.
The book of John, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Read.
There was a certain man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus.
No. 3 John.
The book of 3 John, verse 1. The elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, whom I loved in the truth. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, and as thy soul prospered. For I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee, even as thou walkest in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. Beloved, thou dost faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers, which have borne witness of thy charity before the church.
Let's stop real quick. Let me explain that strangers, because some of y'all might be confused right there. Give me 1 Peter 1 and 1. It says, we love, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to the strangers. Watch this.
1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia.
Stop. Who was the strangers that was scattered amongst these nations, guys? Israelites. So that's who he's talking to. And go back, John 3 John, verse 5.
The book of 3 John, verse 5. Beloved, thou doest faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers, which have borne witness of thy charity before the church, whom if thou bring forward on their journey after a godly sort, shalt thou do well.
Read.
Because that for his name's sake they went forth, taking nothing of the Gentiles.
Taking what?
Nothing of the Gentiles.
Meaning he's not going to take the Colossians 2. They took nothing of the Gentiles. Watch this.
The book of Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8.
Read.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
So they didn't take philosophies of these other nations with them. Come on, verse 8.
3 John, verse 8. We therefore ought to receive such that we might be followers of the truth. I wrote unto the church.
Read it one more time.
We therefore ought to receive such that we might be fellow helpers to the truth.
The fellows help us to the truth. The truth is Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. That law is the truth. So they be fellow helpers of the law. All right. With that today, that is Black on Black Crimes today from TTIC. I hope y'all brothers and sisters got something out of that. So black crime is more than just shooting and killing each other, right? Black crime goes a long way. Everybody understand that? With that, we'll say one love to you brothers and sisters. With that, we'll say shalom.